This is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a layered necklace featuring some Nunn design hammered drop frames. Now, as you can see, we have these beautiful teardrop frames here, and they are big, super big. I love it, all the way to super itty bitty. So we have 4 different sizes here, and of course it comes in gold and silver, so I brought out the gold here to show you. But today I am going to be working in silver. Now, Nunn design is great if you guys are into mixing metals. This is a great opportunity to kind of explore that. But I'm going to keep mine very simple. I'm going to keep it all silver here today. So I have some twisted Nunn design jump rings over here. I have some chain that I'm going to use. This is also Nunn design. And then I have a little lobster clasp, and I have 2 smaller jump rings here. These are both 5mm 20 gauge, and that's just going to help me with the clasp towards the back because this thick of a jump ring is not going to fit through this chain. Now you can use a different chain if you want. You can use a larger chain, but this chain is just going to slip through the center there, so we don't have to worry about that particular chain fitting right on there. All right, so for tools, really basic. We are just going to be using a pair of chain nose pliers and a pair of bent chain nose pliers because we're going to be doing lots of opening and closing of jump rings. Now, if you do want to adjust your chain, you will need a pair of flush cutters as well. I have 24 inches here. I'm going to make a nice long layered necklace. It's just kind of my style, but if you want to do this a little bit shorter, we do sell our chain by the foot, so you will need to kind of purchase the 2 feet and then cut it to whatever length you want. So for that, you'll need some flush cutters, but let's keep it simple today. Okay, so here's what we're going to do first. Now you can see that I have a couple of open jump rings kind of ready to go, and down here I have some closed jump rings. Now, Nunn design often will come, and this is not true, or this is true of many brands, it will come where their jump rings are just a little bit askew. You'll probably see them kind of like that, where it's like, yeah, they're open, but you probably can't fit anything through there. I'm going to be needing some closed jump rings here, so I'm going to use these open jump rings to create closed jump rings. So what I want to do is I just want to bring those together and just kind of twist them until you almost can't even see where that little edge is. And you can also give it a little pinch on the side there to kind of create that nice little loop for yourself. Okay, so I have some of those jump rings ready here, and I have some already sort of pre-opened ones because, like I said, we're going to be doing lots of opening and closing, so now those are ready to go for me. Okay, so we're going to work our way from the bottom to the top, which means we're going to kind of set them up like this. Now, I'm going to be doing a version here that doesn't include the top little guy, so I'm going to kind of set him aside. You can continue to do this design and include him if you want, but I'm going to show you kind of how it looks with the 3. You decide for yourself. Okay, let's go ahead and take one of our little open jump rings here. You can see that I already have him nice and pre-opened. So we are going to slip that onto the top of the largest one. Now, before I close this jump ring, I'm going to sneak in one of my little closed jump rings here onto that as well. And now I'm going to close up that jump ring, just like so. So now what we're looking at from the top, if it's hanging, we have this. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another one of my sort of pre-opened jump rings here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it onto the last jump ring that I just added, which is actually going to be that closed jump ring. And now onto the front, I'm going to slip on this guy here, so it sits right in front there. But before closing this jump ring, I'm going to add another one of those closed jump rings to the center there. And now I'm just going to close that up. So now what's happening is each subsequent frame is actually framing that jump ring. So if you look at it from the side, you can see that that jump ring is kind of popping through, and it's because we're using those nice big beautiful jump rings. All right, so continuing on in the same manner, I'm going to take this open jump ring here and I'm going to slip it on just like so. I'm going to slip on my hammered, the 3rd size, and then I'm going to slip on that closed jump ring. So you can see that it's really just the same, kind of working your way from the bottom to the top. Now here's where you have a choice. You can add that next one if you want to this, and I want to show you what it looks like. I personally would like to leave it as the 3, but I'm going to show you what it looks like just for fun. Because no matter how you want to end it, you have to take a jump ring, open it, and for the last one that you want to do, you're only going to slip on that loop there. Now, the reason I don't like to use this last guy here is because you can see that all those other jump rings kind of pop through. This one kind of sits on the front. It's not quite big enough. So I just don't like that look. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to take off that jump ring I just added. Now I want to go back. And the reason I'm showing you this is because we get a lot of questions of, oh, could I have done that? Could I have done this? You can do whatever you want. But I do want to show you the reason why I design the way I do. Okay, so as we were adding that last one there, you'll notice that you wouldn't be adding, you see this one in my right hand? You wouldn't be adding that extra jump ring. And the reason being is that now my jump ring is facing sideways, so I can slip my chain right through there. So as you'll see, I'm going to slip my chain through that top jump ring, last one I just added, and now we have that nice look of these rings. You see how that works out? So that's why I only wanted to add the 3rd one there. So whichever the last one is that you're going to add, you don't need to add that extra closed jump ring. I know that's a long way of kind of saying that, but I wanted you to be able to see why I do something and why I don't do something. So there you go. All right, so now coming to the very end there, I can kind of kick some of these little jump rings out of the way. And I'm going to open up my little guys here. Now again, these are just little 5mm 20 gauge jump rings because I wanted to use a nice thin chain to kind of offset the big hammered focal. It will, you know, it's not a weight issue. It'll be absolutely fine. All right, I'm just going to close that up. There we go. Just gave it a little pinch. That's probably what you heard. Just to make sure that it's closed. I always really try to focus on making sure I get really good closures on my jump rings. When I first started jewelry making, I definitely was not very good at that, and I think I lost a few pieces due to it, so it's a rookie mistake I've tried to fix, but you know, if you make it, it's all right. We're human. Okay, and now I put my lobster clasp on that side. I'm going to close that up. And now we can open and close our little lobster, set that on there, and now we have our beautiful necklace. So again, you can just sort of see that the hammered look, it just lays nicely this way. Now you could turn it around and kind of have that happening. So it's entirely up to you. I think it's really great. It has a lot of little movement to it. I like them sort of laying down the front there. So that is how you would make a layered necklace featuring these lovely little drop hoops. And these can actually be used for a lot of different things, and I encourage you to explore that as well. So thank you so much for watching. You can get all of these supplies and see even more tutorial videos by heading over to beadaholique.com. And if you're new to our YouTube channel here, be sure to hit that subscribe button below to get all the latest from Beadaholique.